there's a special alignment tonight, so I want to kind of feel into both the portals that we've just came through the spring equinox. So we're going to have a bit of that energy coming through, and we also have this sun's alignment with Neptune, and obviously the sun is in the sign of Aries now, so things are going to be heating up. Hopefully the weather too. Right, so without further ado, I'm going to pull some of the crystal tarot. So let's see what energies we've got around. Okay, Spirit, what have you got for us? Okay. So Neptune brings a very mystical energy, a very watery, so it's all to do with emotions, it's all to do with secrets being revealed, it's all to do with the things that you've been manifesting in secret coming to the physical plane, your wishes being granted, that sort of thing. So let's see what Spirit has, what guidance it has for us regarding these portals that we're coming through, or we've been through, that we're in, these portals that we're in. That's the best way to put it. What have you got for us, Spirit? Okay. Page of Wands. Interesting. So with pages can represent an important person in your life. So it can represent a young woman, or a young gentleman, a young man. So it represents, pages represent youthfulness, and with it being a wand card, that can represent one of the fire signs. So it may represent a Sagittarius, a Leo, or what's the other one? Aries. Gosh, my memory. But yeah, it may represent one of those three fire signs. And on the card, it says, I am always open to good news. So that's interesting, because I feel like good news is coming for us. So listen out. The gemstone which is connected with this card is yellow calcite. So I feel like this is Spirit's way of telling us if we can grab some yellow calcite, or if we able to grab a similar yellowish crystal such as yellow calcite or citrine, something along those lines, it's going to put us into this energy. Okay, so we've got a few people saying hi. Blake says hi. Okay, hi Blake. And so good news is coming is what this card is suggesting for us. So there's a lot of energy around this the sun's alignment with Neptune. So some of the background information about this kind of alignment is that this portal will activate mystical energy, and it's like an activating of things that are starting, so it's getting the energy going for the year. So then this is the kind of energy that we're tapping into subconsciously or unconsciously when we're manifesting, or when or even if we're praying, or etc., etc. It's when we're using our mind to bring something into being. So whichever way we do that, it's all tapping into this spiritual energy. One thing that you should be aware of, that there will be signs of the thing that you've been wishing for arriving soon. Okay. It's felt like that you've almost given up hope for this thing that you've been trying to manifest so hard. You've been kind of putting your heart and soul into it, and you were always on the verge of giving up, and then boom, right, it drop slap bang in your lap. You have like a sign that it's actually real, that you're actually gonna get that thing that you've been manifesting so hard. The kind of energy for this portal, it brings us into a type of hypersensitivity. So this is the kind of sensitivity which comes with the water signs. And even though we're not working necessarily with a water sign through the zodiac, we're working with the watery energy through Neptune. So this brings hypersensitivity, a dissolving of the barriers between you and those people that are around you, so people that you're coming into contact with. So there'll be less barriers, and this will kind of, the portal will also prompt a sort of more empathy as well. You may see more synchronicities, so this could be angel numbers more than normal, and this is a sign from spirit. So there'll be waves of emotions rising. So you or the people around you, you may notice that they're feeling more emotional. So we have gone through solar storm. So we're going through a solar storm rather as well on top of this. So that is only going to add more intensity to this whole energy. And when we get solar storms, they can do a number of things. So they can interrupt with technology. They can kind of knock satellites out of the sky. They're that damn powerful. So if you think of that kind of energy that can drop satellites out of the sky, that's the kind of energy that is being directed at Earth and at the creatures on Earth, which is you and me. So this kind of energy, it has this mystical effect on us by making us more empathetic, by making us more intuitive, this sort of thing. So it supercharges all of these emotions, these traits and personalities and intuitive abilities. Okay, so we're also being asked if we're able to kind of work on a little shrine. If you have a shrine in your place of work, not place of work, sorry, if you're in your home, if you can do it in your place of work as well, that would be brilliant. But if you can make a little shrine, if you don't already have one, so a little shrine just to the universe. It doesn't have to be for a specific deity. If you want it to be for a deity or divinity, you can do that. But if you don't want to do that, you can simply just make a shrine just for manifesting and for connecting to good energy and for connecting to the universe. Okay. And on this shrine, you can place flowers. It's that time of the year. You can place flowers on the shrine. You can place crystals on the shrine. You can place whatever you want on there. You can place a glass of water on there. Water is always good because it brings in good energies. It also helps us connect with the ancestors as well. So all of if we're making a little shrine, these little these simplistic things that we're putting on the shrine, they will have a massive impact and help us tap into the energies of the portals that we're passing through. Okay, so I'm going to pull another card from the Crystal Tarot. Let's have another one. Okay. Beta Max says crown on. Yes, I have my crown on. I'm not playing today. Definitely not. Wayne 100 says, oh, Wayne Prince says Wayne 100. Whatever that means, they sent you to me, lol. Okay, if you say so. All right, so what else have you got for us? What other messages do we need to be aware of? Let's see. Okay. This is a message for the collective, so that this guidance is useful for all of us. Okay. So it looks, I don't believe it, we've got another court card from Wands. It's interesting. So I think this is kind of interesting because the Wands is all to do with the fire signs, which I mentioned. And we're in the sign of Aries now. So I feel like this is a strong reminder that I feel like the people who are going to be impacted the most are going to be these fire signs. I feel like they're the ones who are going to be able to feel the energies more strongly, and they're probably going to be the ones who are most able to tap into it and kind of meld it to their own desires. But we're all going to be able to work with the energy. We can all walk through the portal. I feel like it's the fire signs are going to have an extra flair and more natural affinity to working with the energy. Okay. And this card again is the crystal, which is paired with it is yellow calcite, and the message says, I am naturally creative. So this is a reminder from spirit to express our creativity. So whatever way we want to do that, some people may want to wear lots of crystals. Some people may want to write poetry, share your poetry. Some people may want to sing, rap. There may be people who want to paint, graffiti, whatever the art form is, express it now, because that is important for the flow of energy. Okay. So next, I'm going to pull one of the angelic lightwork cards. So let's have a look at these. Okay, what message have you got for us, Spirit? Okay. Interesting. I feel like it's like I say that word a lot, but it truly is interesting because it does tap into these themes. So if we're thinking about the Aries type of energy, so the sun is in Aries, and the alignment that we're in today is an alignment with the sun and Neptune. So Neptune is one of the planets that is furthest away from us, but because it's such a big planet, it still does have an influence over here. So the message is rising in a strength, rising in a strength. So this is a reminder that we're a lot stronger than we know. So don't forget that. And when people are testing us, or even when we're testing ourselves, when we're pushing ourselves to the limit, when we're about to reach like a burnout or exhaustion because we're overworked or overstimulated, whatever. So this is a reminder about the inner strength that is within, and it's telling us that the inner strength is rising. So we may be aware that we have some resilience. We may be aware that we have some inner strength within us, but there is a lot more there that we can work with. And this is what this card is telling us about, okay? So let's have another one of those. twin flames and soulmates. That's interesting. Literally in the last reading that I did, there was energy around twin flames and soulmates. So this is like a reoccurring message. So I feel like these next, or these, the next few months that we're going to pass through, I feel like it's very important for us when it comes to how we relate to other people, how we make our connections and our relationships. And for those of us who are lucky enough to find a soulmate or find a twin flame. So, what is the difference between a twin flame and a soulmate? So, I'll tell you very briefly. So, a soulmate doesn't necessarily have to be someone who we're have in an intimate relationship with. So a soulmate can be the person who is a friend, or they could be a lover, but they don't have to be. So a soulmate could be a friend or a family member, a relative, something along that. It's just any person who's in your life that you have this very deep and spiritual and significant connection with. That is what we call a soulmate. So it can also suggest that you may have been in past lives together. That is a soulmate. A twin flame, however, is similar. It's kind of like a soulmate, but on steroids. So a soulmate, or rather a twin flame, is kind of like, if you think about when we was created by the creator, imagine that we were one ball of energy, or we was one piece of some formless thing, but this consciousness was split into two parts, and then we was separated. So this one consciousness was split into two parts and separated and placed in different places on the earth. And so when when the other side of this one consciousness finds each other and it comes together again, then this is a twin flame. So a twin flame is like one consciousness which has been separated and is meant to find each other again. Okay, so this is the kind of energy that we're around now. So whether it's to do with the the rebirth sort of energy which comes from the spring equinox, or whether it's to do with the planetary alignment with the sun, the Neptune alignment, but this energy is around, and it has been around for quite a few weeks, because I believe the last reading I did was 2 weeks ago, and we was getting this message about twin flames and soulmates then as well. So it's very important. So pay attention. If you already know your soulmate, then that's excellent. If you already know your twin flame, excellent. But if you're not sure about these things, if you know there's people in your life, you know there's these people who you have a strong connection with, then maybe try to figure it out. Could this person be a soulmate? Could this person be a twin flame? So that, think about the proper differences. Maybe look it up a bit more if you're not 100% clear on what they are. But a soulmate can be a person who you have a really strong spiritual connection with, and a twin flame, it's like that. It's like they're literally another part of you. Okay, they share the same consciousness, so there's a very intense connection. Okay, and that is what that is. So have a think about that, because that message is coming through from spirit. Okay. let's go with another one of the Crystal Power Tarot. So what other energy is around us as we walk through this portal? Let us know. Thank you, thank you. Okay, I really want to, let's have a little shuffle like this. Okay. Okay, thank you, Spirit. Ah, no way. This is crazy. I'm not sure if this was in the last reading, but I get this card a lot. Okay, but this time, this card is for the collective. So the Hanged Man in the crystal is selenite. So again, this is echoing the sort of mystical, the high energy that we've been talking about. So this is the high energy which comes from the portal. And also, it's very protective selenite as well. Selenite is one of the best light coloured stones, or if not the best light coloured stone, which is able to protect from negative energies. And it's also good as it cleanses and purifies other crystals and gemstones as well as us. So it's a good gemstone to have, or mineral to have around when you're sleeping, or just to carry in your pocket, some selenite. But it's also good because it taps you into your intuitive abilities as well, and that is why it is connected with this card, the Hanged Man. So what is the Hanged Man? If you've never had this card before, you may be thinking, "Ooh, that doesn't sound good. That sounds quite scary." But don't worry, there's nothing nefarious or scary about the card. It just means a transition, an enlightenment, an awakening. So this is about the spiritual awakening, about our intuition awakening. Okay. So what it says on it, I can see the situation another way. So that's the other message of it. It's looking at things to see the bigger picture. Okay. Rather than just going with what your ego tells you, or your mind chatter about a situation. Maybe take a moment to sit with your hand over your heart and tap into your heart's guidance to guide you on a situation. Are you making the best choice in this situation? Okay. So this is the Hanged Man card. So that is, it's actually a major arcana card as well. So that means it carries the most weight in this reading. So unless we pull another major arcana card, but out of the tarot cards, this is the only one we've pulled so far. So this means this card is super important. So let me, because it's a major arcana card, I'm going to read what it says. Okay. Let's have a read of the book. See what extra information the book, the author has written about this. What number it is. So we have 10, 12. 12. Interesting. Okay. So it says you may feel in limbo as you wait for events to speed up or for others to make a move. The card, however, asks you to make the most of this impasse and see your situation from another angle. An additional meaning is considering a compromise as a way forward. Spiritually, the Hanged Man can show meditation, spiritual awareness, or a spiritual initiation. Okay, then it goes on to talk about the crystal. Selenite, a spiritual connection and healing stone associated with the crown chakra. Interesting. Crown chakra. Supports your intuitive knowing and connection with your guides and angels. Whenever you need to dispel negativity and find a spiritual perspective on your situation, hold the card or hold a piece of selenite. So focus on the crystal and sense the messages that come through. So the power message, I can see the situation another way. Okay, and that is the Hanged Man card. Okay. Oh, card just jumped out at me. 9 of Cups. Wow. All right, we'll go with that one. So the 9 of Cups literally just jumped out at me as I was picking up the cards. So 9 of Cups, the gemstone which goes with it is aquamarine. So 9 of Cups usually represents the pleasures in life. So if you look at all of these witches, so it shows that we're about to reach a point in our life where we can be truly comfortable and we can make the most of the pleasures that are around us. And it's all about, there's an importance here of not trying to chase the things that you want. Kind of relax and let them come to you. So the message of the card, I trust in the flow of life. I trust in the flow of life. Okay, I don't chase, I attract. Okay, I trust in the flow of life. And yeah, make sure that you're noticing the good things that are around you. That you're noticing the pleasures of life. Because life is very short. So we need to be making sure that we are aware of the good things that are happening around us and the good things that we have in our life. Okay, that is the message here. Let's go with another one of the angelic lightwork cards. Okay, actually, before we do that, I want to have a quick look at the numerology. So we had 9. So 9 in readings represents completion of events or fruition, entertainment and fulfillment. So things coming to pass. Interesting. So that was the pleasure card, the 9 of Cups. Interesting. Okay, Kaylin Walsh says hi. Hi, Kaylin. I hope I pronounced that right. Okay, this card literally just jumped out. Cultivating ease and grace. That sounds like it is very in tune with this reading. So the message is still very clear. So Spirit wants us to cultivate more ease and grace. So everyone most likely knows what I mean by ease. So things coming through easily to you. It's like I was saying, don't chase, attract. It's literally what I was just saying. That is ease. So living life with ease. If you're not chasing, you're attracting. Things are coming to you. You're putting in less effort. That is ease. But the next word, some people may not know what I mean by grace. So you may sometimes if you're describing someone, you may say that somebody is a graceful person. Or there's the song Amazing Grace. What does grace mean though? So a graceful person is somebody who will do something for somebody else, whether the other person has actually earned that kindness or not. So it's not about give for take. It's not about gracefulness. Is not you do this for me and I'll do this for you. That is not gracefulness. So gracefulness is regardless of what you do for me, I'm going to do this for you because I'm being graceful. And this is like what they say about deity and the divine. The divine loves us all. Source loves us all because the divine is graceful. Okay. So we need to be graceful as well. So pop that card down there. Let's have another tarot card. Let's see if we can get any more major arcanas or what other messages want to come through to us. Okay. So Crystal Power Tarot. So I'm reading for the Sun, which is conjunct in the planet Neptune today. So this is a powerful portal. So these messages are regarding this and how it's going to affect us. Okay. Oh, more cups. So a lot of cups in the reading. Again, this is connecting with the water element, Neptune. So we had 9 cups and now we have 5 cups. So a lot of cups in the reading would suggest powerful emotions. So I feel like for some of us, this may be a bit of an emotional roller coaster. So the card says, the message of this card, it says, I will move forward when the time is right. I will move forward when the time is right. Yeah, so there's definitely a big emphasis on emotion. So maybe take some time to check in with yourself today, like this evening, before you go to bed. Maybe just sit with your feelings, sit with your emotions, and check in with yourself. See how you're feeling, and see, are you feeling good? Are you feeling tired? Listen to your body. Put your hand over your heart. Listen to your heart. Like, it's all about not assuming what your heart's trying to tell you, but really listening. And whatever pops into your head, the first thing it is, if it's giving you a message of love, then this is the heart's guidance. This is intuitive guidance. If it's something silly or negative, then it's not. It's just coming from the ego or something else that's negative. So it's not needed. So when you're checking in, just be aware of that and just discern the difference. Okay. Interesting. So somehow I managed to have these cards pop out at me. So firstly, we have the Magician card. So the magician, he, again, it's a major arcana. So the magician is, again, it's about manifesting as well. So the magician, he's able to tap into the etheric realm. He's able to tap into spirit, and the things that he's manifesting, he's able to pull them and bring them into the physical realm. And that is the magician. again, so that is tying in with the theme of this portal being of the thing that we've been manifesting really we've been focusing on a lot. We've been trying to manifest something and we've almost given up hope, but the magician's here to say the struggle is over. The struggle is over. The thing that you've been manifesting, it's falling in your lap. Okay. So the message, I manifest perfectly what I desire. And the crystal which comes with it is citrine. So interesting. So the other crystal, one of the other crystals that we was talking about was yellow calcite. So these are all yellow and fiery sort of crystals. Interesting. And the other card we have here is Seven of Wands. And the gemstone which comes with that is garnet. So the message, I actively hold true to my values. So that's very important. So if you're thinking about when you take some time for some reflection, have a think about what are my values in life. Have a think about what it is you're wanting, how do you relate to other people, or what values are you upholding. So do you uphold the values of diversity? Do you believe that everyone has a right to be diverse and different and we should celebrate these, celebrate this, celebrate our differences? Or is there other values? Do you believe that the arts should be celebrated? Do you believe, are you patriotic? Are you a person who wants to fight for their country, that fight for their political beliefs? So these are all different values. Do you believe in freedom of expression? Do you believe in protecting the protected characteristics? Okay. Are we against racism? Are we against homophobia? Are we against transphobia? All of these different things. Are we against genocide? All of that. So these are different values that we may uphold. So have a think about what your values are. This is what the card is telling us here. So I'm going to pull another one of the angelic lightwork cards. Okay. Let's see what other guidance we have. Okay, so this is the card which I've pulled. So it says, manifestation blessings for progress. Interesting. All right, so let me read from the book what it says about this card. I don't actually use these cards very often, as you'll probably notice if you've been watching a lot of my videos. So number 41 is the card. So the numerology of that card would then be 5. So let's have a look at what that numerology suggests. So 5s indicate times of change, ups and downs. So that sounds about right. So it's change, instability, and conflict. Interesting. All right, so 41, let's find it. Okay, so the soul knows how to manifest money and all the resources you need for peace and progress on your life path. Archangel Uriel brings the guidance that your heartfelt desires are not separate from nor in competition with anyone or anything. So yeah, this is tying in with the message. So there's some people out in the world who thinks that if I try to manifest this, or if I do a spell for this, or if I pray to God, or the divine for this such and such to happen, then I'm depriving someone else. But this is what spirit is reminding us of here, that if you're manifesting something, if you're asking for something, don't you don't have to believe that if you get it, then you're depriving someone else, because there is plenty, and the and spirit works in a wonderful way. Okay, so yeah, I'll read that again. So your heartfelt desires are not separate from nor in competition with anyone or anything. The fulfillment of your heart supports the liberation of all beings. Let go of the belief that you must constantly fight for what you want, and relax into your heart to enhance the naturally magnetic power in your life. There are many ideas for you to bring to fruition and many blessings that can flow through your loving heart for the greater good. Stand true in your purpose. Expect your path to open up for you. Your increasingly fearless heart will attract increasingly radical abundance and grace. One step at a time, all things will flourish in the goodness of divine grace. Wow. So it's crazy. So literally, this card is highlighting a lot of the other themes which we've already gone over. Excuse me. Okay. And then there is a prayer to Archangel Uriel. So yeah, let's do that prayer. So feel free to repeat it or just listen to it and open yourself up to Archangel Uriel if you like. If not, just say not for me. Okay, Archangel Uriel, I am honored and open-hearted in your presence. I gratefully acknowledge the abundance, prosperity, sacred manifestation, and countless blessings that you bring to the greatest good of all. You support the embodiment of divine light. I am ready and willing to receive your healing and guidance to fulfill my inner potential for the spiritual benefit of all beings. I trust you to hold and protect the sacred space for healing according to divine will. So be. Oh gosh, and then there's another one, another prayer. Archangel Uriel and beloved Earth Mother, thank you for gifting me the life path and sacred purpose for which I was born. Even when I don't consciously know what I am meant to do or how to attain it, you know, and you provide the means and the method. I feel gratitude in my heart as I receive your golden light of blessing. I welcome healing, supportive medicines of the animals, the crystals, the plant kingdoms, the earth energies, from healing places and whatever else is needed to fulfill my spiritual mission in this physical world. Thank you, beloved ones, for your generosity, goodwill, genius, and grace. I receive all with a blessed heart. Thank you that my success may bring spiritual benefit to all beings. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so that is a prayer that you can use if you'd like some assistance with your manifestation. It's calling upon the Archangel Uriel. Okay, so next I'm just going to pull a final card for us to consider from the Crystal Power Tarot. So this is just a final thought for us on how we can really make the most of these portals that we're passing through here. That one, let's have that one. Cups again, if we get any more cups. Gosh, it's like we're having a party here. 4 of Cups. Actually, 3 of Cups is having a celebration, but no, we're on 4 of Cups. So it says, I listen to my heart and follow my knowing. Interesting. So there is a massive message from Spirit here. for paying attention to your heart and listening to your heart's guidance. So the voice within, what you want to call it, the inner conscience, whatever you want to call it, the voice within, heart coherence, discerning the difference between guidance from spirit and from the heart, and just mess which comes from the ego or the negative low vibrations. So I listen to my heart and follow my knowing. That is the important message there. So let me just read a bit more. And interesting, number 4 as well. So 4, that is one of my favorite numbers. Let's hear. Realizing goals is important with number 4. Structure, stability, and manifestation. How interesting. Okay. So let's just read a little bit more about this card, seeing as it's our closing card for this reading. So the gemstone which goes with it is aquamarine. So in a reading, this card can represent boredom. So hitting a plateau in a relationship or at work, finding yourself in a situation in which you're beginning to feel listless and even stuck. You may be feeling disillusioned and flat as the expectations you once had don't materialize. You may feel the need for inspiration or direction and hope for a positive change. Rather than wait for things to improve dramatically, you can make some small decision that lifts your mood so you can see where to go next. So yeah, definitely. So remember, we had the Magician card here. So if we look at these cards together, so if you're sat there thinking that, nah, I don't want that, I don't want I don't want that to be my life. I don't want this to be my life. I want that to be my life. So then you need to tap into that magician. So you need to think about the 4 powers of Magus: to know, to will, to dare, and to be silent. So I have a whole video on that if you want to know more about that. But that is the key of the magician. That is how you work magic and bring things into being. So if we look at those 2 cards alongside each other, so on the one hand, there's the boredom there, there's not being satisfied, and on the other hand, instead of being powerless and just resigned to this existence of boredom and unhappiness, we're instead taking charge of the situation. We're taking charge of our life and realizing that we create our own reality. So this is the message here from Spirit. So go with that message, and brightest blessings and namaste. Check out some of the other videos